Hello, fiber friends. I am coming back at you this week with an episode that's all about the Frivolous and Frugal 3-ply podcast meetup in Hoffman Estates last weekend, as well as some of the progress that I've made on some of the knitting things I've done this week. So I'm excited to get into it, but before I do that, here are the places you can find me elsewhere on the internet. My name is Beth. I like to knit, sometimes crochet, and yarn shopping is another pastime of mine. But today, let's talk about what I'm wearing real quick. The pattern name is Free, and it is by VB Ulrik, and it came in the Rowan magazine number 71. That's last year's summer edition of Rowan magazine. So this was what I was working on at the Frivolous and Frugal 3-ply podcast meetup last year. So I felt like it would be appropriate to wear my finished object from last year's event. And the other piece of business I want to throw in there is names will be right here of who is involved in the Berroco Cal. And I am running that in conjunction with all of these other people. And this is an ongoing knit along that is running from last January 1st through December 31st of 2023. And details are below for my channel, and check out the other people online to see what their rules are. With that out of the way, the meetup, it was so much fun, you guys. I had such a good time. I met lots of new people. I got to see some old knitting friends, got to hang out for a longer time with some of the people in my knit group that I hang out with on a regular basis too. So it was really nice. It was really nice seeing all the people, seeing everything that everybody is working on and everything like that. Learning about different podcasters and all kinds of knitting fun information. So on Thursday, when I got there were quite a few people in the conference room, quite a few people still in the lobby, but they were kind enough to open up the conference room early, and that's where I went to sit and knit. So when I got there, I ran into Peggy, who was one of my Berroco Cal winners. So I got to meet Peggy for the first time, which was really nice. And I did get to sit and chat with her quite a bit through the weekend. Peggy has some really nice knit summer tops that gave me some great ideas. Also that night I met Stephanie, who was my other Berroco Cal winner. What else did I want to say about Thursday? Oh, on Thursday, it was so funny. I'm sitting there and I saw Sandy, who I had met the previous year. I saw her leave the room, didn't think much about it. She comes back maybe an hour or so later and she's like, I just watched your podcast. She said, I can't believe you recorded and uploaded a podcast today and you're here. And I was like, yep, that's what I did. It's, you know, as far as the editing is concerned, there's not a whole lot to do as long as I talk consistently without a whole lot of, who is that designer? That kind of stuff that I feel the need to like cut out. That can be hard to piece back together nicely. So I try to do a run through before I do my final version so that that way I'm not sitting there thinking about, oh, who is the designer? What is that yarn? And everything like that. I kind of go through and do it so that the editing part is not so hard. All I'm doing is throwing up pictures here and there of the things that I'm talking about. So that was Thursday. Thursday, I think I kind of went to bed early, but I think I always go to bed early. I also think while talking and trying to knit, I have not had that much trouble. Like when I go to knit night here locally, I feel like it's not that hard to keep up with a more complex pattern. But at the meetup, for some reason, it was much harder. I don't know if it's the fact that I am paying more close attention to the people that I'm talking to, or if it's just I feel more relaxed at my weekly knit together because these are people that I'm normally with and normally talking to. I don't know what it is, but at the meetup, I messed everything up. I can't tell you how much I had to pull out. I think it was on both Thursday and Friday. On Friday, or maybe it wasn't until Saturday that I decided, okay, now I'm gonna bring everything, bring down the easy thing. Because I didn't have a whole lot of easy knitting to do. So at any rate, Friday morning, went to breakfast. This year, fortunately, breakfast was included in the group price of this. So that was really nice. Didn't have to go anywhere to get anything to eat. Now, normally I intermittent fast by skipping breakfast, which is something I did today. So this is me without food. I drink my coffee in the morning and I don't eat until after lunch, at lunch. And during the school year, I don't even eat at lunchtime. So I think that's a big part of why I lost as much weight as I did this past year. Anyhow, I decided since breakfast is free, that's one of the meals I'm going to eat. So ate breakfast, met some more people. Lisa Kramer is someone I met at the meetup. She is on Instagram. I'll find it. But she sounded like she's getting ready to launch more into a business aspect. And so I talked to her quite a bit at breakfast on, I think it was on Friday. Maybe it was Saturday. But anyway, so she's someone you might want to check out on Instagram. And then while we were sitting and knitting later that day, I said, let's go shopping. So I went with Selfish Knitter Colleen, who has now been dubbed the serial commenter. I have heard her name mentioned on multiple podcasts as someone who comments, and I think it's so funny that she came up with that name, the serial commenter. I love it. It's true. So Colleen came with me, and then we also brought along Fearless Miss Brianna, who is the niece of Frivolous and Frugal Dawn and Penny's their podcast. She's not the niece of the podcast. She's the niece of Dawn and Penny. Anyhow, Brianna came with us, as well as Cheryl. Cheryl is a local I would say. I mean, she comes from Chicago, I believe. She comes from Chicago proper. So I am not an actual Chicagoan. I am a Chicago suburban, which I feel like that only means that I'm not so street smart, shall we say. Anyhow, I had this car full of people, and we went to a knit shop that is in Marengo, that's not even suburban. That's rural Chicago area. That's where you see the cornfields really start to multiply. And it is in a house in Marengo, and the shop is actually closing because the owner is retiring and she is moving away. So she is getting out all of everything she has in every nook and cranny and coming up with more every day that just keeps filling the shelves. And she's selling all of her yarn for half price. And from what I understand, the spinning things are 30% off. So a lot of good deals at that shop. So with that being said, there's a couple of things I want to talk about. Number one, here's a new to me item. I did not talk about this, but Stephanie was so kind as to make project bags for all of the podcasters who came to the meetup. So this was the one that she made for me, and thank you, Stephanie. This is so cute. I love that you are so thoughtful and did this for the people who you like to watch. And I could not be more thankful for this. This is great. The fact that you put your time into making something for me just really is very touching. So it's got these nice drawstring ropes. It's got these inside pockets. I mean, you can tell she really put some thought into this. And I don't know if she used a pattern or just did this off the top of her head, but it's amazing. I wouldn't even know where to begin with something like this. So the reason I brought this out when I did is because I bought this at the Fold. This is Rowan felted tweed, and it's got a string of the other one on it. So this was 50% off at the Fold, and I stood there in front of the Rowan felted tweed section and just went through my phone and went, what can I make with this? I want to make a cardigan. What can I make? So I should be telling you the colorways of this. Do I have my yarn bands? No, I don't. Okay, so Rowan felted tweed is 50% wool, 25% alpaca, and 25% viscose. And I don't see a colorway on here. It's this nice green. I don't know what to say about that. So I also got this at the Fold. So this is a color shifting shade, which, like I said, on the label, I cannot find anything that gives any hint of a colorway name. But at Cheryl's suggestion, I was like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? I don't have enough of the contrast color to make the pressed flowers cardigan. So they had plenty of the main color, but not enough of the contrast color. So Cheryl's suggestion was buy whatever you need here. And then when we go to another yarn shop, you can see if they have the same colorways there. And so you have to buy that at full price at the other place, but at least you can get the discount on whatever they have here at the fold. And I was like, genius. Thank you, Cheryl. That makes perfect sense. So they didn't have this at the other yarn shop. We went, our actual third stop was Wool and Company. And so I got this colorway there. If I can find these colorway names somewhere, I will put them in the description below. I just love this. So my thinking is I'll start with this. I think it's bottom up, the cardigan, Pressed Flowers cardigan. And I will show details about that. But I'm thinking do this, then this in the middle, then more of this. So that's my idea of how my color shift will go through the project. So with that said, I feel like instead of going into the rest of my new to me, I should be going into what I'm doing for the Pressed Flowers cardigan. So this is where I'm at with Pressed Flowers. I have done a gauge swatch. And I'm trying to see if, yeah. So I started at the bottom here. And this, I didn't realize in the chart that some of the stitches were supposed to be garter. I was doing it all in stockinette at first. So when I realized, oh, whoops, I'm missing what some of these symbols mean, I need to switch up what I'm doing. This is part of why we gauge swatch, right? So I am going to, at this point, I decided I needed to check out what I'm doing as far as my gauge in the correct stitch. So I shifted to the correct stitch and then realized that I was not getting gauge. So I went down a needle size. Actually, I went down 2 needle sizes because I started with a 6, which was the recommended needle, went down to a 4, and still wasn't getting gauge, went down to 3, still not getting gauge. Story of my life, right? So I'm excited about doing this cardigan, but without getting gauge, I have to decide what needle I'm going to use. I'm not going to go down to a size 2 needle for this. This is not a size 2 or even 2.5 yarn. I kind of thought about it for a little bit. I was like, wait, what's going on? Why am I not getting gauge? And I looked at the pattern again. Now, my cautionary tale here is when you're in a yarn shop, drooling over the yarn that you see, this is not the time to hurriedly decide what pattern you want to make with it. If you are in a yarn shop, you should either be taking your time and really thinking through your choices, or determined to come back at another time. But here I am in this yarn shop thinking, I gotta get this now before somebody else buys it because this is the color I want. And so Pressed Flowers cardigan is designed for a sport weight yarn. Rowan felted tweed, as it turns out, is a DK weight yarn. And just because I saw that somebody made this project in this yarn does not mean they did it to the gauge in the pattern. Now, I haven't gone back and looked at that. How this came about was that I knew on Ravelry you could find projects based on the yarn. And so that's what I did. And as soon as I got to the first one, I was like, that's it. This is what I need to do. So I was so sure of what I wanted to do in the project that I liked that I just ran with it and grabbed the amount of yarn that it said in the pattern. Now, given that I'll be knitting with DK weight yarn and the pattern is written for sport weight yarn, I've got to do some math. I've got to figure this out. So this will be another one of those that takes a lot of thinking and I will probably have some frustration with, but I love the project. I love the yarn. I love the yarn for the project. And I'm going to push through and figure this out. So that brings me to, after going to the fold, we went to Elgin Knitworks. I feel like I went on this weird long tangent, but tied it all in. And now I don't know how that messes with the flow of this episode. So I hope you don't feel like I'm all over the map. I hope this is interesting enough to keep you interested, but I've started this way. I'm gonna keep going. So the next place Colleen, Brianna, Cheryl, and I went was Elgin Knitworks. My plan was find something there that they have a sample of and determine to knit that. So that's what I did. I found this chevron scarf. They had a beautiful version of it there in the shop. I loved it. Now, I got the yarn that was recommended for it. This is actually an Earth Yarns pattern. So you get the pattern free when you buy the yarn. So this is Earth Unique is the name of the base, Unique, UNEEK. And look at these colors. Oh my gosh, isn't this just gorgeous? And I believe the sample in the store is 2 different skeins, but I am not entirely sure. And I think that maybe I will call the shop and see what they did in order to get the striping that they got on it. Because if I look at this on here, this does not look like, I don't remember seeing large pieces of color in the sample that they have in the store. It was more like these right here, these little lines, and I don't know how clear that is on the screen. So they may have alternated skeins. I'm not sure. But I liked how it was done in the shop, and I want to have the same type of effect on mine. And I love these 2 colors. Let me see if there's colorways listed. This one says color 3003. Does this one have something like that? Oh, this one is color 3025. 3003, 3025. So the one with more green in it, 3025. The one with more purple in it, 3003. So I just love these colors. These are all like, oh, so my colors. These jewel tones. Look at how well that goes with my t-shirt. Anyhow, I'm so excited. This I can't wait to cast on. I have never done any knit chevrons, so I'm curious to see how that works. I know it's a common thing. People do it all the time, but not me, never done it. Something new, something I get to try. I'll share with you all my frustrations with it as I mess it up as I go. So that's what I bought at Elgin Knitworks. And then after that, we went to Wool & Company. Now, while I was at Elgin Knitworks, I saw a scarf there called Architecture. I found yarn at Wool & Company. I saw this color and immediately I thought, I want that. So it is this lovely green. This is Kelborn Woolen's Cricket. And what's funny is I saw the label that says Cricket, and I was like, oh, I never heard of Cricket yarn before. And much later, I'm sure it was after I got back to the hotel, somebody was looking at it and they were like, oh, I've never seen this before. And then they said, oh, Kelborn Woolens. And I was like, oh, how did I miss that? I mean, Cricket is so prominent here on the front of the yarn band. Focus. Okay. So here you can really see that it says Cricket and, you know, all these other things, but I barely noticed that right here it says Kelborn Woolens. So I got 3 skeins of this to make the Architecture pattern that I saw at Elgin Knitworks. So I can't wait to cast this on. But I have so much already on my needles, you guys. So that's everything I bought. It was so much fun though, going out, just hanging out with knitting friends in the car for the day. And as we were driving, I don't remember which part of the trip it was, but we drove past a restaurant and Colleen says, Italian beef, is that different than regular beef? Or words to that effect. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize this was such a Chicago thing. Colleen just lives in Wisconsin. I would think they would have Italian beef in Wisconsin too, since they have it in Chicago. So naturally, we decided we need to get Italian beef for dinner. So we go to this place called Bona Beef, Buona. This was Cheryl's suggestion. I thought that Cheryl had said she had never been there before, but she sounded like she knew what she was doing when she ordered, because she ordered her Italian beef baptized, which means basically they take the sandwich and they just dunk it in the juices. And so she had a sandwich that was not one you could like pick up with your hands and eat. She had to eat it with a fork. And she said, you know, the bread just falls apart with the fork because it's soaking wet. So I guess that's a very Chicago thing. I did not know how Chicago that was before, but it was really good. And something that Cheryl found out was the beer there. I think it had to do with the time of day, time of week or something. I think because it was Friday, she said, was like half price. She got a bottle of beer for $2.50, which, what an amazing deal. And so it's funny because she was trying to pay me for gas and I was like, I was going to go there anyway. You don't need to pay me for spending gas on a trip that I was going to make with or without you. So she offered to buy me a beer. And so when we got back to the hotel, she bought me a beer. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll take that. So then, of course, after drinking a beer, I was ready to fall asleep. So by 8:30, I was ready to retire for the night. And so I said goodnight to my friends in the lobby. And then I went to say goodnight in the conference room, knowing full well I was done knitting, because I just could not focus to do it. So I go into the conference room and I decided I'm going to go to every table and see what everyone is knitting, because I don't want to miss out on anything at this event. So I walked to every single table and asked everybody what they were working on, and saw some amazing projects. People are doing unbelievable, great things. And it was so nice to talk to knitters about what they're knitting and just have a room full of them to bounce ideas off of and to understand what they're doing and how it's working and everything like that. So after spending 2 hours of learning what everyone was knitting, I was just ready to pass out. I did not go upstairs until like 10:30 that night, and that is way past my bedtime. I'm an early riser. I usually am up by like 5:30 in the morning. So this was a different experience for me. So it was fun, but man, was I pooped. And then I got back to the room to go to bed, and my brain is just running a mile a minute with everything that I have just like taken in and everything. And by now, the sleepy effects of the beer have worn off. So I'm like, blah, like high on yarn fumes and ready to hit the next day with more yarn. I know on Friday night or afternoon, the ladies of 3-Ply Podcast did come by and, kind of mingle through the room and everything. And so they were there for at least part of Friday. Penny and Dawn were there almost the whole day. It's funny because on Friday, I had heard that Penny was leaving early. She had a family event that she needed to attend. And I figured I'll see her when I get back from shopping. Well, Penny had left before I got back from shopping because the girls and I spent nearly the whole day out shopping. I think we left from the hotel at 11 and didn't get back until like 5:30, 6 o'clock, something like that. So it was a long shopping trip. So Saturday, woke up super groggy, went to knit in the conference room. And that day is when 3-Ply Podcast came to take people on yarn shopping trips to Elgin Networks, because that is their home knit shop. They like to bring in the business when they can to help out their local yarn shop. So that's what they did. They came, they chauffeured people back and forth to the yarn shop, and they hung out for the day. And they all came in their look at my holes sweaters, and they all looked so cute. And it was a fun look for them all. And there are pictures on Instagram if you want to see that. Looking so cute together. Good job, 3-Ply ladies. Saturday for me, I felt out of it all day long. And as I was knitting, I just kept having problems. In fact, part of the day I was crocheting because I thought that would be easier. Did I talk about this before? I don't remember now. But so I was working on these cute squares, and I swear, like, some of them I had larger tops than bottoms. I was, what you have in a granny square is like these sets of 3 double crochets, and I would have 4 here and 2 there, and I just kept pulling these out and redoing, and I feel like I spent more time pulling out than I did actually crocheting on these. And this is Berroco Tiramisu is the yarn, and the sweater pattern is Rena by Alison Green. So that is an ongoing project. I'm continuing on the squares. Also on Saturday, though, this, you guys, I met up with Queen Sandy. Do you guys know who Queen Sandy is? I think some of you do. Queen Sandy was there. Sandy is someone who I know through the knitting world from seeing her bags on podcasts. So I feel like this is a podcaster's full circle moment. Queen Sandy has donated bags to me for giveaways on my channel. Is that not exciting? So, Sandy does not have a shop where she sells these. She just does this for podcasters to give away, and she says that this is her way of paying people for creating the content that she enjoys watching. So I'm going to show all the different designs that she has. Isn't that cute, the little sheep in their winter wear? There's this one, and look at how big this is, you guys. This is huge. This is like a good size tote bag. It has a zipper pocket in it. Sandy, fantastic job. Thank you so much for these. So next one, I love the little black sheep on this with their little polka dots. I don't know how clear that is on the screen, but all of them, she embroidered PandemicKnittr on them. So thoughtful. Here is one that's got a lot of little sayings on it, and I will try to read these all to you. Grow where you are planted, time to unwind, to knit or not to knit, there is no question, knitter's gonna knit. So all kinds of knitting sayings. So that's fun. These little llamas are in Miami Dolphins colors. So and my husband is a fan of the Miami Dolphins. So I was thinking, is this the one I should keep? I don't know. Aren't they cute? This is such a bright color, so me. This handle, I love that. I love this fabric. That is so pretty. And then this has a polka dot inside, also with a zipper pocket. I don't think I showed the inside of the last one. This one has, what would you call that? This is sort of a textured fabric. The little dots of color are like teardrop shaped or raindrop. And then look at that. The bottom fabric is the same as the handle fabric. Details, you guys, details, unbelievable. So yeah, this one, the whole inside is all the same. except for the pocket that matches the llamas. Love this. And then, last but not least, is this red, gray, and white one with a whole bunch of sheep that look like balls of yarn, interspersed with balls of yarn. And like some of them, you have 100% wool guaranteed. And then, where's that other one? This guy has washing instructions on him. I don't know how clear that is on the screen. And then the inside is knitting sheep and also has this zippered pocket. So it's got a pocket that you can just slip things into, plus the zippered pocket here too. So it's like a double pocket. So with that shown, if you've stuck with me this long, as a reward, I'll be doing a giveaway. So I have 2 of each of these bags to use as giveaways for my podcast. So a total of 10. And she said I could keep one if I wanted to. So I'm still deciding which one I want to keep because I love them all. And let me say this, you guys, this is what I got from her last year. So this one from the meetup last year, I won as a door prize. I use this every day. This is my everyday bag for school. I put my knitting project and my purse in this, and this is how I go to school. So for the prize, comment below. And the instructions for the comment are #QueenSandy. All one word, Queen Sandy. And tell me which one of these you like best. So, again, knitting sheep, llamas, knitting sayings, spotted sheep, and sheep in winter wear. Tell me which one is your favorite, and I will randomly draw one winner for this week's episode. So stay tuned, there will be more of those, and I'm so excited that Sandy has offered me this opportunity to help grow my channel because I love doing this and I want to continue it. The other thing that we did on Saturday was we took pictures. We took a couple of group pictures, and if you're interested in those pictures, I know that Frivolous and Frugal has a group on Facebook where they posted those pictures. There was a group of people wearing green sweaters. I wore my Faucette sweater for that. There was a group of people who made the burra cowl. And I gotta tell you, my favorite for this, so as someone who's running the burra cowl cal, if you have just bought the pattern, I say that counts. Well, Mary was in this picture and she had like, I don't know if it was a clear bag or like a mesh bag or what it was, but she had a bag that had all these balls of yarn in it and the pattern. And so she held that for the picture and I was like, that's perfect. Oh my gosh. She's further along than I am because it looked like she had all the colors. I only have 3. So I will get there, you guys. I don't know if I'll get there. I don't know if I'll finish by December 31st, but I will get there. And Joyce of 3 Ply podcast, she had started her burra cowl and it was like a few inches, and so she wore it like a hat. That was cute too. So I don't know, I was looking for that picture and I did not see that picture anywhere on their social media. So I hope they have put it somewhere now, or maybe I just missed it. Sunday morning, got up with everyone, had breakfast, said goodbyes, and left. It was crowded still. I mean, everybody was in the lobby when I finished breakfast, and there were no seats available in the lobby. So I just thought, you know what? It's only maybe 9 o'clock. I thought, I'm just going to go. Checkout time is 11 o'clock. I'm not going to stay and get anything accomplished here, so I might as well just go. Oh, I forgot to talk about my finished object. This happened on Saturday, because on Saturday I finally decided, okay, I am going to do something that I don't have to think about, because I just wasn't having any luck with anything. So I finished my watermelon socks. So this is vanilla sock recipe socks made with Brenda and Heather yarns, BAH yarns. This is their summer remix, I believe it's called. I think I have it here somewhere. Slice of Summer remix. So I don't know if they're still making this, but I love it to pieces, and I would knit this again in a heartbeat. Loved how it came out. This is my one finished object. I have works in progress that I have not talked about, so I really want to get into that, because I have made a lot of progress despite the fact that it didn't all happen at the meetup. I'm concerned that I am out of focus. No, I'm not. It's just my eyes. Anyhow, okay, so my Lionshead top has seen a lot of love this week. So this one, so exciting. It's the same color as my shirt that I'm wearing right now. But so I think when I showed it last time, I had done the back. So this is the back. I had done all the way across the back to where it's going to be joined again on the side. So the front now, I am nearly finished with that. So you can see here's where I started the front. And so here's where I got to this week. So I got a few inches done on this. So I'm really happy about that. So I don't see any reason why this cannot be finished in the next couple of weeks before I start school. So I'm excited about that. Did I say this is Lionshead top by Irina Anikeeva. It is being knit in ModeSock Plus yarn, and that is from Mode Knits in, I think it's St. Paul, Minnesota. And that's the beautiful texture, and I have to show off the shoulder texture again too, because I haven't shown it in a while, and I love the shoulder texture. So I think that's going to be so cool, sitting on top of my shoulder. I love that. I details, you guys. They're fun, and so is a good texture. So there's that. I can't believe I'm so deep into works in progress now, because here we are at the end of the video, and I'm just on works in progress. But I already did new to me, so yeah, I'm just out of order. So this one is Slipdream, and I showed this a long time ago, but since I got home from the meetup, I thought this would be a good one to work on. And now I wish I had thought to do that at the meetup, because this is a lot of knit stitches. This would have been an easy one to work on at the meetup. So I'm into this honeycomb striped section, And I did all of these stripes since I got home. So this is moving along. I will say, when I do a lot of shawl knitting, if I am not otherwise engaged in something more intellectual, I feel bored with this. I really do. I feel like, oh my God, if I have to knit another stitch, I just get bored with it. And I think that's because in 1 or 2 days, I tried to get a whole lot done on these 2 projects that I'm showing right now. So that was Slipdream by, I think, Monica Wesley. And that is being done in her Expression Fiber Arts Amalie fingering, and details are below. The other thing that I did quite a bit on since I got home was this shawl, which is Budding Brioche Blooms, I think. It'll be up here, by Jennifer Shiels Toland. And so this is my brioche work. Last time I showed this, I had just finished this garter section here. So I've added on some brioche and I started the garter for the next section. So this is coming along and I'm very excited about it. But again, with this being so much garter stitch, that's where I kind of go, all right, I need something else. I need something to challenge me more. I need a lion's head top to do some texture in. So that's what I have of those. And those are all my whips for the week. So on to quick comments. Let's just quickly go through comments because I don't want to put it off for a week and have things be totally untimely. I know that ordinarily my episodes are about a half hour, but with this whole wrap up, I felt like it warranted a longer podcast. So I've already mentioned this, but Sandy commented on my video. She says, wait a minute, you uploaded a podcast and you're here at the meetup? Yep. Sarah, who unfortunately was not able to make it to the meetup, commented, I finished my green sweater and my Berroco in time for the meetup. Sorry I didn't get to see you there. Hopefully I'll be able to make next year. I hope so, Sarah. We missed you. And people did, there was talk about you and your family, and I hope everything is good in your world. I know it's been difficult lately. Darlene said, hi, another great podcast. I have serious FOMO about the mini meetup. I am not able to attend this year. Have a great time and take lots of pictures / videos for sharing. I am guessing the giveaway you are getting at the meetup is a Queen Sandy project bag. Am I close? You got it. You got it. I met Darlene last year. She is a Canadian knitter who came out for the meetup, and we sat together for quite a bit of time last year at the meetup, and it was really nice getting to know her. So thank you for commenting, Darlene, and you guessed it. Lucille says, I love Lisa's podcasts. I had mentioned Lisa Hennessy, who does the Knit Pray Crochet podcast. So nice, short, and inspirational snippets of knitting and crochet content. So I highly recommend you go there if you have not. She says, Beth, you cracked me up with your comment about frogging your socks instead of using the elastic. I always feel like I could use frogging time to start/finish projects. I have startitis, unfortunately. Same. But at the same time, I want my things to fit me. So even though I have startitis, I feel the need to finish things correctly. And so I feel like sometimes frogging is worth the time. Unless, some people probably are comfortable with just, if it doesn't fit me, I'll donate it. I still feel like I'm too new to the process to do that. Maybe every little project just feels so precious and dear to me because I've poured so much into it that I'm like, I made this for me. I'm not giving this to someone else. Okay, my video stopped and I don't know why. But anyway, the point I was making is that I feel like I really want the things that I make for myself. So, I do give stuff away. Just, not as frequently as I maybe should. Anyhow, inspired by fiber. I don't know your name, but I like your name. I don't know your given name, but I like your made-up name, Inspired by Fiber. Always like podcast recommendations. Thanks. Have a great time with weekend. Glad you started the socks over. Yeah, me too. I am too. And I hope you're enjoying watching Lisa. And I did have a great time at the weekend. Texas Peach Knits, who is Stephanie, said, thank you for the podcast recommendation. Your sweater surgery results really turned out great. Hope you enjoy your meetup. So that was about the sweater that I made last summer leading up to the meetup, which was Sea Haven by Jennifer Shiels Toland. And I fixed it. I made the collar. I knit up a collar to make it fit better. Wendy says, love your sweater surgery. It looks great. I know we're having a fun banter about the crochet sweater. It's all good because I talked about the Rena sweater last week and giving Wendy a hard time. She said, hope you had fun at the meetup. I look forward to hearing all about it. Yes, I did, Wendy. Thank you. And thank you for being such a good sport. Sharon said, you did a good job with the neck of your sweater. You'll be happier with it now. Haircut looks good too. Enjoy the meetup. Sounds like fun. Thank you, Sharon. I did. The hair, I'm really I'm getting used to it. I actually had asked my hairdresser to cut it shorter. I wanted pixie cut. I wanted to go up to the ears and have that kind of this way down kind of look. I don't know. What do you think, guys? Would I look good with a pixie cut? But she talked me out of it. She was like, you're going to need product and you're going to need to style it every day. You can't just blow dry it and go. And I'm like, really? I feel like if it was cut in a way that showcased the layers and everything, that I think I could just blow dry and go. I don't know. But she talked me out of it. So I don't know, maybe should I try to talk her into it again next time? But we went shorter, just not as short as I intended to go. Anyhow, so that's all the comments. I really banged through those quickly. It was a lot of just have fun. A lot of have fun, wish we were there, and thanks for the recommendation. So anyway, comment below if you want one of those bags. Hashtags Queen Sandy. And tell me which one you like. And If you are the randomly selected person, you will get the bag of your choice. Please remember to like, subscribe, survive, and thrive. And I will see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.